Wonder Woman versus Darkseid. I never thought I'd say that, but let me give you a fast recap. Wonder Woman has been chasing down Grail, the daughter of Darkseid and someone who's been trained by the Amazons. Grail has been raising baby Darkseid, and in one of our single issues, which I'll link down below, baby Darkseid has found a way to become full-grown Darkseid again. And Wonder Woman has been searching for her brother, Jason, another character that we covered in a single issue video. Now it's time for her to meet up with Jason, meet up with Grail, and meet up with Darkseid. In the Paris catacombs, Steve Trevor leads the Odd Fellows into the position to support Wonder Woman on a recent sighting of Darkseid's parademons. As the group turns the corner, Diana cuts through another parademon, asking Steve what took him so long. And he calls back to his team, stating that they heard her. Spread out and shoot him down. However, 4 hours earlier, at Argus Central Command, Dr. Pearl reveals why Diana and Steve would be heading into the catacombs. Pearl uncovers a body, but not just any body, the dead body of Hercules. Pearl goes on stating that since Darkseid last fought the Justice League, Argus has been monitoring for energy spikes on the planet. Those spikes have been determined to be unique to Apocalypse. Diana says that she understands that, but what does this have to do with her brother Hercules? Pearl then says that Hercules' body and the surrounding area where he was located was rife with that energy. And then she opens up the door to the next room, telling them that the site of Hercules' demise wasn't the first location, nor is he the first victim. All of these bodies have been found with the energy of Apocalypse, which is why they wanted to inform Diana. She then mentions that perhaps they should get more information from the lawyer Blake Hooper. Currently, she has an appointment with, but before Diana can finish, Nicholson says they have another hit, this time in Paris. And back in the current times, where our story began, Diana rams into a group of parademons with Steve telling her that, you know, a lesser man might feel threatened by how often you have to rescue me. Diana doesn't break stride, continuing to take down more parademons, stating that she's sure that he'll save her when the time comes. He usually does. As the last of the parademons fall, Steve says that he still doesn't get it. There's no link between this hive and the death of Hercules. Maybe our only lead is the lawyer. Diana tells him that as the executor of Hercules' will, he has to know something. Let us finish up here and find out what that is. Hercules must have made her his heir for some reason. If you're wondering what's going on, in our last video, we got word that Hercules had died and he left everything to Diana. We've also covered 2 single issues explaining what happened to Darkseid and Diana's brother. A short while later, over in Oregon, Diana sits in a car with Blake, telling him that she could have flown, you know. And Blake takes a sip of his tea, telling her that he believes that it was Nelson Mandela who said dignity above all else. And if he hadn't, he should have. Diana asks Blake how often does he get clients like this, and Blake laughs, stating that he can say without hesitation that this is a one-off. This isn't to state that he hasn't had his fair share of freakish and the depraved, but that just comes from hanging his shingle in Hollywood. Once Diana and Blake pull up to Hercules' cottage, they walk inside and Blake says that she looks a bit sad. She looks around and says that seeing Hercules' home, his life here and now, he was more than just a legend. He was her brother. She has heard troubling stories about him. Depending on who you ask, Hercules was either a hero or a violent maniac. However, the fact remains that they both have the same father, Zeus. Blake says that Zeus was a great lover of women, and Diana tells him that she's not sure love had much to do with it. He did certainly father many children, some uniquely empowered, some immortal, and some died without ever knowing the truth. Simply put, he may have been a great god, but he was a terrible father. Blake asks what makes her so sure about that, and Diana sighs, stating that, let's just say that she has her doubts that she'll ever be proven wrong. After a few moments of silence, Blake pulls out an envelope and hands it to Diana, stating that he was instructed to give this to her once they got here at the cottage. She opens up the letter and begins reading the last letter her brother ever wrote. He said that he took pride in watching her life unfold, whereas his life was filled with shame. But there was one thing that he must inform her of. There was a man named Galacus that he rode alongside on the Argo, who was also immortal. Galacus was given a boy to raise named after the Argonauts' leader, Jason. He is her twin brother, just as he is her brother. Diana shouts, stating that she has another brother. She thought that Minrina, the mother of Grail, was lying. She even looked, but with nothing to go on, she got distracted. Blake tells her that that happens, but continue reading. She goes back to the letter, and at the end of it, Hercules says to look onto the Nemean lion that he killed. There will be something of use there. Diana picks up the mantle and sees something scribbled onto it. Something that looks like map coordinates, and they lead Diana and Blake to the Aegean coast. And from there, the two begin asking around. They stop by a restaurant and Diana asks a waitress about a young man named Jason. The waitress says actually, there is a fisherman who has a crew. Every morning they leave before dawn, but if she wants him now, he'll be out at sea. Soon, Diana and Blake begin to walk along the shore, and Blake says that it looks like they're going to have to wait. But Diana takes off her coat, asking, does she look like someone who likes to wait? And she flies off into the sky. She looks around, finding a single boat, and as she gets closer, she sees a man and says that she can feel it. There is nothing wrong, she is his. But before she can finish, Jason looks up at his sister, stating, Sister, I can feel it too. You finally found me. Diana begins to touch down, and Jason says Wonder Woman is his sister. And as Diana lands, she tells him, it's Diana, please just say her name. She wants to hear him say her name. Jason hugs her, stating her name, and says that every time he saw her on the news, she looked amazing. All the good she's been doing, he prayed one day that they would be together. She pulls back, asking if he knew of her, why didn't he contact her? And he tells her it's because he couldn't. He swore an oath to the man who raised him. But come, there is much that they have to talk about. He then begins to fly up, and Diana quickly follows behind as they head towards an old island fortress. As the two land, she goes on stating that she doesn't understand. She understands taking an oath, but she is his. Jason says that she should know that Galacus not only told her who his mother was, but who his real father was. And not only that, also how vengeful his father's wife, Hera, could be to those like them. Diana then asks him, how do they do this? It could take some people years to get to know each other. And Jason tells her, one moment at a time, but at least he can say that he's happy that she didn't get his nose. Diana says perhaps, but she is also quite a bit taller. The two spend the day talking about their lives all the way up until the sun begins to set. And as that sun goes down, Jason asks, shouldn't we be getting back now? Diana tells him that they will contact Steve and see if Argus has uncovered any new. But Jason interrupts her, telling her, the appointed time has arrived. Diana asks, what does he mean? And Jason's tone changes as he tells her, it means, Wonder Woman, that all of this talk has just been a facade. Just like when I lured the fisherman. It means that you are nothing but a stranger to me, and I have done fine without you. All we share is the same blood, but there is someone else that I feel I have much more kinship to. Just then a boom tube opens and Grail jumps out, punching into Diana. Her body flies into the ruins, and as she gets up, she says that she must confess. She hoped to be fighting her alongside her brother. Jason then charges at Diana, shouting, instead she'll be fighting against me. She catches the punch and tells him that she doesn't know why he's doing this, and Jason yells over her, asking, how naive are you? I hate you. The very thought of your existence. I can't bear to look at you. With one heavy throw, she tosses Jason out into the sea, stating, then get out of my sight. Grail fires back in with an Omega beam, asking, is that anger that I'm detecting? Did Jason just break your heart? Diana flies up to Grail, grabbing her by the throat and slamming her into the ground, shouting, you have been killing Zeus's children. It ends now. The force from the hit breaks a chunk of the island off, and as Diana pulls herself back up, she asks, which of you wants to fight now? She looks around and sees Jason creating a giant tsunami, yelling that their father was the god of the sky. By controlling the air pressure, he could create this. The water crashes down, knocking Diana into the rocks, and as she lays, Grail jumps in, stabbing Diana in the shoulder. Jason walks up, stating that he thought that this would be much harder. And Grail says that she is also disappointed. Diana asks him if he's really going to allow this, let this disgusting witch kill his only sister. And Jason tells her no, they're not going to kill her. You're needed, but don't worry. When that time comes, I will be the one to do it. A short while later, Diana begins to open up her eyes, and Jason asks, what does that look? You almost look bored. Diana tells him that she is not bored. Honestly, she can't decide how she feels. Sadness, anger, disappointment, plenty of all three. Grail asks, won't you shut her up already? And Diana then yells, listen to me, think. This witch has been murdering the children of Zeus, all of whom, despite never meeting them, were our half-brothers and sisters. Even Hercules, who you claim is your friend and teacher, does that not matter at all. Grail runs up, punching Diana, shouting, I told you to be quiet. Jason tells her, wait, I'm still trying to process all of this. Grail said that she would drain our siblings' energy, bleed them, but not to the point where they would die. Diana scoffs, stating, you've been lied to. And Grail says, things did not go as expected. That's not the same. Diana then asks, if this was all an accident that you killed them, who are you trying to fool? Jason, surely you are not that gullible. Jason yells, I said I was trying to understand all of this. First I was alone and now suddenly I'm not. Diana yells at him, telling him to stop looking for people to blame. This is all on you. You spent so long hiding from Hera's jealousy that it just turned into you hiding. I came here with my heart filled with love, and you turned on me, and now here I am, captive, and yet, you still haven't explained why. Still, I would do anything for you. Grail punches Diana again, telling her, how about you try shutting your mouth? Diana snaps back, stating, I am done being your punching bag. And Grail asks, what? Suddenly have the power to break free? Diana's wrists begin to shake, and as the restraints shatter, she says, I have always had it. I just wanted to reason with Jason. But now you're both going down. The second Diana is free, she kicks Jason back and then quickly grabs Grail, throwing her into Jason as he tries to jump back into the fight. Once Jason and Grail get back up, they both charge straight at Diana, but as she runs towards them, she is hit in the back with a pair of Omega Beams and a voice that says, "I told you both, she cannot die." Diana lifts her head up and says, "Of course!" Darkseid. Darkseid asks, "Why are you so shocked? You knew that I was resurrected." Diana struggles getting back up, stating that she doubts the fact that he is now a young man would have mellowed him out. He certainly won't be happy when she beats him. Darkseid calmly tells her, "It took the combined might of the Justice League to fight me, and now you are all alone and outnumbered." Diana picks herself back up, lunging at Darkseid, but Darkseid backhands her to the ground, asking, "What don't you understand? What chance do you possibly have?" As blood begins to drip from her mouth, she says that there is one thing that her mother taught her. And Jason, you'll do well to listen. That no matter what, one must always hope. Darkseid hits Diana again with another set of Omega Beams, and Diana shouts, "I would much rather die than live in a world where you three triumph." Darkseid tells her, "I'm not going to kill you, nor do I need your subservience. All I need is your life force." He holds out his hand and lightning strikes Diana as her life force is being absorbed into Darkseid. Jason watches, remembering what brief time he had spent with Diana, and he shouts for Darkseid to wait. Grail pulls Jason back, whispering to him that Diana doesn't love him. It's her world that lies. And then Blake appears, telling everyone that that is enough. Do you hear? That is enough. Diana starts to get up and looks over, asking, "The lawyer, why are you here?" And Blake smiles, asking, "Surprised? Good, because I love to keep you people guessing. I sensed what you have been doing, and I should have acted sooner. I felt compelled to follow my initial oath to remove myself. Let the mortal and the god alike make their own mistakes. It was with Hercules' death that I realized that I should have at least a taste of this foul stench that has been cooked." Diana says that he can't be who she thinks he is, and Blake then says, "You may have corrupted my son, but as for Diana, release my daughter at once." Lightning strikes down onto Blake, and as the smoke glares, Zeus steps forward, stating, "Or you shall face the wrath of Zeus." Diana tries to get back up, stating that she doesn't believe it, and Zeus tells her, "Yes, it is I. It has always been. But we will talk when I am done with this base creature." Zeus and Darkseid charge at each other, and Jason asks if it's really him. Is it really their father? Diana shouts to Zeus to wait, but Zeus tells her, "No, you are still weak. Plus, it's been too long since I faced a foe worthy of me." Zeus swings forward and Darkseid ducks, shooting an Omega Blast that curves around, hitting Zeus from behind. He stops, stating, "I've encountered quarrelsome satyrs with more bite." He then punches Darkseid with an almighty force of lightning. Darkseid is thrown from one side of the island to the other, and he gets back up shouting, "I have fought planets, slaughtered entire armies. You will need more than fists of lightning, old god." As the two clash, Jason says that he can't do anything yet. He's still weak from the tidal wave that and Diana stops him, telling him it's okay. Darkseid's power is weakening and her strength is returning. She will help their father. As Diana gets ready to join the fight, Grail tackles her from behind, shouting that they are not done. Grail goes to bring her axe down, and Diana catches the corner of it with her vambraces, asking, "What is it that you're planning on doing?" Before Grail can push down, Jason rushes back in, pushing Grail off, freeing Diana. Grail takes the butt of her axe, cracking Jason in the head with it, asking, "Haven't you realized? You will never stop my father once he sits on the throne of Apocalypse." Diana gets up, flying towards the fight, and Jason grabs Grail before she can attack again, telling Diana, "I'll deal with Grail." Back at the fight, Darkseid stands up after his attack, telling Zeus, "The flow of this battle is shifting. I can feel the fire." The boom tube opens, and Zeus jumps at Darkseid, knocking them both through the portal, asking, "Why are you running? If you're a coward and leaving, we shall both go." The boom tube starts to close, and Diana flies into it, with Grail running in as Jason tries to pull her back. However, as the portal closes, all five are gone. In the flash of light, Diana looks around, realizing that they are now in the Philippines, in a heavy populated area. Zeus and Darkseid are already destroying as much as they can. Darkseid punches into Zeus, asking, "Do you think that my plan is to regenerate through your children? That would be too simple. Yes, they have helped me get to the age that I am now, but that was never the goal. Not even was my daughter." Diana shoots by, knocking Darkseid away, and Darkseid asks, "Do you know why I chose to come here? There are people here, lives to save, so get to it." He releases another blast into a nearby building, and as it starts to fall, Diana says that she knew it. He knew that she would save lives before fighting him. Zeus gets up, grabbing Darkseid with both arms, telling him, "That is enough. It is time that we showed the world that even a god can die." As lightning begins to course through Darkseid, he manages to reach out, grabbing Zeus by the head, telling him, "That's what I've been saying since your daughter showed up." Killing your children, it aged me. It gave me power, but not nearly what I needed. They were bait, a lure. It was you who was the prize all along, Zeus. Zeus tries to remain in control, but the longer that Darkseid keeps his hold, the more power begins to fade from Zeus. A bolt of lightning strikes, and in a flash of light, Darkseid is standing over Zeus's body, shouting, "I am Darkseid again!" Diana flies on, yelling, "If my father is dead, I swear that you will follow him down to the Styx." Darkseid tells her, "Zeus is definitely wherever the old gods go. As for you, you were never able to defeat me before." As he trails off, the rest of the Justice League appear behind Diana, and Darkseid says, "Speak of the devil, as you humans say. Though I would be delighted to test out my newly regained powers, my goals are too great to risk now. Grail, come!" A boom tube opens and both Darkseid and Grail walk through it, but as Diana jumps after them, the portal closes before she can reach them. The League tries to comfort Diana, but all she can think of is how, if they didn't show up, she would have defeated Darkseid. She alone could have. She could have saved her father. As Diana goes to pick up the crumbling body of Zeus, Jason says that he's so sorry that he betrayed her, prejudging and condemning her when they haven't even met. He is a fool. Diana gets up telling him that if he hadn't done all that he did, none of this would have happened. Jason says that he knows he is the one to blame, whatever he can do to. She stops him, telling him no, enough. I am sorry too. And as the two hug, Jason says, "But my father is," and Diana tells him no, "our father." Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Zeus versus Darkseid was epic! Like, so goddamn epic! I never thought it could be that cool! Did you? I didn't! I'm asking you like you're gonna respond. Let me know in the comments down below if you thought it would be that epic, or if you thought that this is how Zeus was gonna come back. I can't even say the sentence is right. It was just that epic. I was so excited reading that story and then doing the audio recording for you guys. Now, don't forget, you can join our Discord community and we can talk about your favorite comic books. The link to that will be down below. You can find it all over the channel, and we have a huge community of comic book nerds coming together to talk about your favorite stuff. Come and join us over on that. You can also find me on Twitch doing various podcasts and discussions. Link to that is also down below. And you know what? Just subscribe if you're interested. I'll see you next time right here.